This video is kind of a little stressful to do. Now the big news. My neck and arm had gotten much worse. For surgery, there are three options. The big D word, this is what she wants. You are crazy, that's not gonna happen. I'm at Olino State Park near High Springs, Florida. This is the beautiful Santa Fe River behind me. I'm on this killer bridge that goes across the river. It is awesome. What a view I have out here. This is an update video for those of you that have been following our full-time RV travel journey for the last 5 years. If you don't know us, we sold everything in February 2020 to travel, live in an RV full-time, and have lots of adventures. And we've been sharing that entire journey here on YouTube. My last update was on July 2nd when I was still in Canada. At that time, I talked about how my neck was, I had a problem with my neck, I have bad arm pain, and that Alice and I, after 40 years together, had decided to separate for the summer. A lot has changed since then. I drove back to Gainesville mid-July because my neck and arm had gotten much worse. It just got to the point where I just couldn't tolerate it anymore, and I had to get back to Florida to get it, a final diagnosis and probably get some surgery. What I love about these swing bridges is when you go like this, they really wobble all over the place. And if you get people on it, they get all freaky. This video is kind of a little stressful to do. So I just got down here near the Santa Fe River. I'm gonna film different parts of the video in different spots just to kind of make it a little easier on myself. On the way down from Canada to Florida, I had a blowout near the Florida-Georgia border, and I did a video of me having to deal with that and my neck problems and everything going on at the same time. Since then, I've continued to live in the RV by myself, staying here in Florida and staying at Florida State Parks. Now, I can stay 2 weeks at a time at each Florida State Park. I was at Paynes Prairie for 2 weeks, then I went to Olino State Park for 2 weeks, Mike Ross for 2 weeks, and now I'm back at the beautiful Olino State Park for 2 more weeks. First, let's do the update on the neck. I've been here back in Florida for about 2 months, seeing lots of doctors. I have seen rheumatologists, neurologists, neurosurgeons, orthopedic surgeons, physical therapists, pain specialists, and physical therapists. When I was still working 5 years ago when I quit, I had been a spine implant rep for the last 20 years. That's working in the operating room with neurosurgeons, implanting spine implants, a lot of them in the neck, all over Florida. The good news is, in those 20 plus years that I worked with these neurosurgeons, I developed some really good friendships. So when I started having neck problems, that was a really good friendships to have. So they've really been helpful in helping out the diagnosis and figuring out which treatment I'm gonna have to get on my neck. Okay, so what's the diagnosis? I have C6-7 foraminal stenosis with a focal disc herniation in the neural foramen that's causing the arm numbness and the arm pain. The numbness goes all the way down my arm, but is mostly in these two fingers, the index finger and the pointer finger. The pain kind of goes all the way down the front of my arm, and it's gotten really bad. For surgery, there are 3 options. The first one is posterior foraminotomy, which is where they come in the back of your neck, they make an incision in the muscle, they go down to the facet joint, they drill off a little piece of the facet joint and the lamina, and they get into the axis of your foramen, and they basically just pluck that little piece of disc out of there, pull it out, and they're done. The problem with that one is that it would definitely fix the problem, but it wouldn't be a permanent fix. There's a likelihood that the disc could re-herniate again, and that'd be back in the same boat. The second one is called ACDF, is anterior cervical discectomy and fusion. This is where they come in from the front of the neck. They basically take out the entire disc. That lets them completely free up the nerve, and then they replace the disc with a piece of bone. They put the piece of bone in there, jack the neck up a little bit, and they put a titanium plate to finish it off that kind of holds your neck all together while that bone fuses. The third option is a newer technology called a TDR, which is a total disc replacement. This is an arthroplasty where they're basically taking with the disc like they do with an ACDF, but this time, after they clean out the nerve and get it all good to go again, they put in a disc replacement. This is an artificial disc that goes in And basically what that does is it jacks the neck up just like a piece of bone does, but now instead of the bone, fusing the neck and being very stiff, the total disc replacement moves. And if I want to move my neck from side to side, that joint will still move. What that does is that it reduces the chance of what's called adjacent segment syndrome. But basically what that is, but when you fuse one level, it puts all the stress onto the next level, either above or below. So this way, if you preserve the motion of the neck, one, my neck will be more flexible, and two, I'll have much less likely of injuring 5/6 right above, which in my case is not in great shape either. So the less stress I put on my neck in the future, the better. So this new technology, I'm probably going to have done. The company that I used to work for makes it, and they make a really awesome product, so I think that's what I'm going to go with. Like I said before, I need to get this done ASAP. The arm and shoulder pain are getting much worse. If I tilt my head up just a little bit like that, it goes completely numb and I lose control of my fingers. It's terrible, and I probably am going to get the TDR surgery. The question is, who is going to do the surgery? The main reason I want to get done ASAP is I want to get back to traveling in the RV. I really just pretty much staying still in the Gainesville area here for the last couple months, and that kind of sucks. I want to be out traveling all over the US and Canada, all by myself though. Now the big news. Alice and I are getting divorced. Yes, I said it, the big D word. It's happening. The last video we just talked about, we just needed a little time apart. Alice wanted to kind of be on her own thing and do her own thing, but now we're getting divorced. In the 2 months since I've been back from Canada here in the Gainesville area, Alice has made it clear that this is what she wants. Now, if you had told me a year ago that I'd be talking about divorce, I would have said, you are crazy, that's not gonna happen. But here we are, this is my reality. We agree on pretty much everything in the divorce, especially as far as money and stuff like that goes. Our kids are grown, so we don't have to worry about that. So it should be a very easy divorce. Now we're in the middle of picking a mediation attorney to, take us through the process, basically from A to Z, and we've got it narrowed down to 2 or 3 different ones, but hopefully should be doing that soon. And hopefully we should have the whole divorce wrapped up by November when we have to pick our next Obamacare plan. Right now, I'm not going to go into any of the details because that is very personal, and Alice does not get to share her side of the story because she definitely doesn't want anything to do with YouTube, really being on social media or anything like that. So for right now, we're going to keep the details to a minimum. So why am I sharing all of this at all? Well, when we first started watching RV content like 6-7 years ago, we'd really get upset when we get invested in a channel, watch a lot of what they were doing and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden a channel would completely disappear with like no notice of like what happened. Sometimes they got divorced, sometimes they just stopped RVing, sometimes whatever. But we decided, or I decided, that I didn't want to do that with our channel. Even though we're going through some big changes, we thought it was really good to share what we were going through. Plus the fact, I think it's a really good, really important thing to share about what the cost of full-time RV could be on a long-term relationship like this. We've been doing it for 5 years, and if you watch our videos, everything looks great, but obviously there was some stuff going on in the background that even I wasn't aware of. So I think it's good for people to be aware of stuff like this can happen when you go full-time RVing. We've been together 40 years and we're ending a 40-year relationship. So that's something I think worth sharing. Now I'm going to continue living in the RV, staying here in the Gainesville area till I get my surgery scheduled, and I get my surgery and I have my recovery. But then I really want to get back on the road as soon as possible. Now I'm supposed to be in the Outer Banks of North Carolina for all of October and November. And then I'm supposed to be in the Gainesville area back near our kids for December. And then I'm supposed to be in the Tampa area for the Tampa RV show, which I'm still planning on going to the show, but alone. And then I'm supposed to be in the Keys. I've got state park reservations for all of February and March in the Keys. So hopefully I'll be there. So if you see me somewhere along my journeys there, definitely stop me and make sure you say hi. I'm gonna put out another update video after I get my surgery and I'm recovered, and then when I have an idea what my travel plans will be through after that. Then I'm gonna continue doing RV travel content and my normal RV DIYs and campground tours. Okay, do you have neck problems? Are you getting neck surgery like me? Did you have neck surgery? Or are you divorced? Are you getting divorced? Please share your story down in the comments, especially if you're getting divorced, because I need any advice I can get. I'm going to continue sharing our divorce journey on YouTube, so if you don't want to miss the next update on what's going on with that, please consider subscribing by clicking the little linky thing right down there. I'm also going to leave a link to our latest update video right over here. And remember, downsizing does make sense.